Hi, I'm Adriana, trauma-informed yoga instructor and physiotherapist. And today's video is going to be a trauma-informed standing chair yoga practice. So you can find a chair that you can use that will support your arms for standing. And we'll do a couple different things with that and end with a nice breathing practice sitting in the chair. So go grab your chair and we'll get started. I invite you to find your chair. And as I mentioned, most of this practice will be standing postures using the chair for support. So I invite you to turn towards the back of your chair would probably be ideal, just as that's a little bit higher, but you're more than welcome to do this on the seat of the chair if you would like something a little lower. And the first thing we'll be doing is a standing child's form. So placing your hands on the back of the chair. You can bring your legs back as far as feels comfortable until your back gets nice and flat. And then from here, you're just going to bring your chest a little bit down towards the ground. So chest going down towards the ground as the hips and the tailbone move backwards. That neck can stay nice and long and relaxed. Spending a few breaths in this standing child's form. Perhaps bringing those shoulders away from the ears. Taking one more gentle breath here. And on an exhale, I invite you to move into a standing cat-cow. So rounding that spine as you exhale, perhaps bringing the chin to the chest, letting that tailbone go under. As you inhale, letting that stomach go towards the ground, that tailbone goes up, maybe your head goes up and looks forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine, tailbone goes under, chin goes to chest. Inhale, tailbone goes up to the sky, stomach to the ground, neck looks forward. And you can move through a few more of these at your own pace, at your own time, rounding and extending that spine as much as feels comfortable to you. You might even decide to walk those feet in a tiny bit from where they were in your child's form. Moving through the variations and the movement of the spine that feels comfortable for your back today and for your neck. On your next breath, I invite you to come back up to standing, giving the body a little bit of a shake, maybe standing up nice and tall, giving that back a little bit of a different movement than what we were just doing. Moving on to a little bit of a side stretch here. So I invite you to turn sideways. You can bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips if that feels comfortable for you. Then you can take your hands on the back of the chair, so that left hand is on the chair. You're bringing your right hip out to the side, and then that right arm, if it feels good for you, can reach up above your head. So a little bit of a side body stretch here, using that chair for support, as much support as you need on that arm and on that left side of your body. Taking a couple breaths here, perhaps having slight bends throughout the knees. If the arm doesn't feel good above your head, you can always have the arm down on the waist or down by your side. One more inhale. And on your exhale, if that arm's above your head, I invite you to bring it down. I invite you to stand back up. Repeating the same thing on the other side. I'll just move my chair so you can see better. So once again, the hips are a little bit in compared to the feet. Feet are a little bit wider than the hips. This time you can bring your left hip over to the left a little bit. The right arm will rest on the chair. And then if you would like, you can bring that left arm overhead to get a bit more of a side body stretch here. Trying to keep the hips forward as you're doing this. Holding for a few breaths here. Just like in all my videos, knowing that if you want to come out early, you are more than welcome to. It is always your choice. One more nice inhale here. On the exhale, if your arm is up, you can bring it down and you can slowly and gently come back up to standing. Once again, we're going to turn so that our body is facing the back of our chair, working in through a standing lunge here. So hands on the chair for support. I invite you to take your left foot and bring it out behind you, keeping your hips forward, having that back foot rest on the ground. Arms for support on the chair here, and you can bend that front knee as much as feels comfortable. You may feel a pulling or a stretch through that back calf, that back lower leg. If it feels like too much of a pull or a stretch, you might decide to go up on the toes of the back leg. If you do that, it may feel like a little bit more of a leg workout. So you can decide what variation works better for you today. Holding for 3 more breaths if that feels good for you. Maybe bringing the gaze forward so the chest is nice and tall. Relaxing through the face and the upper body. One more breath. On the exhale, bringing that left leg back up to meet the right one, and then we'll switch to the other side. So that right foot can move behind you, that left knee can go bent as the right leg goes straight, keeping the hips facing forwards towards the chair. Deep breath. And just like on the other side, if it feels like too big of a pull on that back leg, you can go up on the toe and perhaps bend the back leg a little bit. Feel a little bit more of a strength exercise through the quads, those thigh muscles. I'll be holding for 3 more breaths here if you're still with me. Maybe gazing forward, relaxing that upper body again on this side. One more breath. On the exhale, bringing that right leg to meet the left. Moving through a stretch for the back of the legs, the hamstring muscles. I invite you to take the right leg once again and bring it a little bit behind the left leg and a little bit out to the right. So maybe about 1.5 feet of a distance. And then from here, placing your hands on the chair for support, you're going to think about bringing your hips back behind you, bending that back leg, keeping that front leg straight until you feel a bit of a stretch throughout the back of the leg here. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, you might decide to bring that right leg a little bit more behind you, have a bit of a bigger space between the right and the left leg. Once again, holding here for a few breaths, getting that stretch throughout that left leg. You might notice that right leg working hard. If you do, just put more support through that chair. On the next exhale, coming back up and switching to the other side so that right leg is forward, that left leg is going to go back. You're going to bend that back leg. You're going to straighten that front leg so you feel that pull throughout the back of the front leg. You can have your toes facing upwards. You can have your toes facing towards the ground, whatever is more comfortable for your body. Once again, enjoying a couple breaths here, knowing that you can come out at any time. Letting the arms support you. On your next exhale, coming back up to standing. And if you've been using the back of your chair, I invite you to turn it the other way so that you can use the seat of the chair. Moving in through a standing triangle here. So I invite you to face lengthwise away from your chair. Having the feet, once again, just a tiny bit wider than the hips. And of course, you can always narrow the feet or make them wider depending on how you feel today. I invite you to, once again, push those hips out to the left, placing your hand on the chair. That front foot is going to face the chair, that back foot is going to face away. And then with this arm, you can either rest it on your hip, or you might decide to bring it up above your head for more of a twist, more of a stretch. Your decision, your choice. Maybe having a slight bend through both knees. One more breath here. On your exhale, you can use that chair for support. You can bend both your knees and come up to standing. Repeating the same thing on the other side. So once again, feet a little bit wider than the hips. You can bring that right hip backwards. You can turn that left foot so it's facing the chair. And then you can take your left hand on the chair and once again reach the arm up above your head, or perhaps keep the arm down on the hip. Whichever feels better for you. As with all the other shapes we've been doing today, having that arm support you as much as you need. That chair is there for support, for safety, for comfort. Taking one more breath here. On your exhale, I invite you to turn towards the chair, bend the legs, use that chair for support, come back up to standing. And using the chair one last time, standing twist here, I invite you to take that left leg, put it on your chair. If you want a wall next to you for extra support for this one, feel free to do so. This one may require a bit more balance. Left leg is on the chair with the knee bent, the right leg is straight. And I invite you to take the right hand, place it on the outside of the left leg or up on the left thigh, turning your body to the left as far as feels comfortable, getting a little bit of a spinal twist here. As you twist, maybe keeping that body nice and long and tall, perhaps having a gentle bend through that standing leg. Maybe you take another breath and you twist a little further. On the next breath, I invite you to come back to the start, repeating the same thing on the other leg, so that right leg can go up on the chair. Bringing that left hand, you can place it on the right thigh or on the outside of the right leg and twisting over to the right. Once again, body remains tall. Maybe on another breath, you twist a little further if that feels comfortable for your body today. And on the next breath, coming back to the start, twisting your body towards the chair. Ending today's practice sitting. So if there's any other movements you would like to do before you sit, feel free to do that now. Whenever you're ready, you can join me sitting in your chair. Let that chair support you. You can sit however you would like. There's no right or wrong way here. And perhaps you close the eyes or gaze them gently in front of you. Maybe scanning from head to toe, noticing any areas of tension and seeing if you can relax them. Relaxing the eyes, the mouth, the jaw, the shoulders, the back, the hips, the legs, the calves, the arms, the hands and the feet. allowing that chair to provide support and comfort. Taking one nice inhale, and on the exhale, sighing out anything you're holding in. And I invite you to sit here as long as you would like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.